Well, hi there, Free Enterprise fans. It looks like we're back. I mean, we've been back for a couple of days now. The table round has kicked off 96 matches in the next 3 weeks. Probably the pinnacle of Free Enterprise play on some of the toughest flags we have seen. I am Demarine2. I am joined tonight by my lovely co-host Zoe Vermillion. Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Demi. How are you doing tonight?
I'm feeling pretty chill. I'm feeling pretty relaxed, but I'm also real excited for this matchup between penguin8r and CoffeeAndChocobos tonight.
Oh, yeah. No, this is going to be a fantastic matchup. Frankly, all of the tables matchups are going to be just, out of this world. That's not a pun about this being the lunar table or anything, I promise. But yeah, penguin8r, CoffeeAndChocobos, both fantastic runners. CoffeeAndChocobos went 3-0 in the group stage. penguin8r went 2-1. His lone loss in the group stage being to Baka Shinobi, but he took one of these spots from the Magma Play-In 1, and here we are.
Yeah, penguin8r, of course, second place in the football gauntlet, or not, excuse me, second place in. God, guys, penguin8r's got first place in last year's Zima Zone. He's got a second place at RPG Limit Break. penguin8r's been around a long time. And he's real good. Okay, gods, there's just too many accolades to list. I'm not gonna try because I'm literally failing right now in the middle of this Twitch stream. CoffeeAndChocobos is one of our newer runners, trying to kind of maybe get a big signature win here of these 6 matches for him. So we shall see if some of the new blood can knock off one of the old kings, or if penguin8r reminds us all that he's still got a lot of game.
Yeah, absolutely. CoffeeAndChocobos been around for I think about as long as I have, maybe a little bit longer, but has taken his gameplay far further than I ever can. It's going to be fantastic to watch, and even if penguin8r has been around for a while and it might be the name you're more familiar with, don't sleep on CoffeeAndChocobos. This is going to be a great race. These objectives could be fairly jetty depending on where that darkness crystal is, because it is required, and aside from that, the only thing we really need is underground access, and our runners are in go mode.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these flags, though, they're tough. I mean, if you get quick go mode, there's options for going for, short team strats, going for Edward strategies. How do you get your grind? Can you get your grind? With the Darkness Crystal required, I'm sure both of our runners want Tela real bad. Even if you have to climb more deals, still, that secures your grind. It is the most secure grind with Sirens turned off on these flags. Unless you get real lucky, get an early forge, and Sirens happen to fall in the Kakol shop. Otherwise, you're never going to see them.
Yep, and we are underway. We have a Palom start here. A Sid coming in from here. Sid's really good in the table flags. These are different from the group flags. I'm sure throughout the course of this race, we will touch on some of the differences. Definitely expecting both of these runners to, well, maybe penguin8r doesn't want this Sid. I know that when I play this flag set, Sid is really great for the other game, and with his HP growth, pretty good for the end game if you can find like Cure 3s or anything to make use of that huge HP pool he has.
Yeah, I mean, we can recover characters, so penguin8r might be planning on doing a bunch of character checks first, kind of determining what his best party looks like, and then going and gathering his best possible party. This is a thing that a lot of runners have been doing, sort of as part of the preparation stage, rather than just jumping right in on Sid. Yes, Sid's great, and Sid is probably going to end up in your party because he gets you through the early game. He can equip hammers and axes, so he can equip a decent number of the weapons you're going to see, especially because with T-Pro on, a lot of those top-tier swords that you were seeing in the group stages, they gone. You're not going to find them. They're real hard to find.
Yeah, definitely going to be much lower tier treasure here with the flag difference on the treasure settings. And then we see Iridia in the Watery Pass and a Zeus Gauntlet, so that's pretty nice. One of the things that Demarine touched on is that we can recover characters in this flag set. Unlike the group stage, if you say goodbye to someone, you do not lose the chance to have them. You can go recover them from the Tower Wishes in Mysidia. However, if you're noticing when a character offers to join, there's a giant capital letter word there that says permajoin, which is a flag we're playing in. So the first 5 characters our runners select will be their party for the rest of the game. So if you commit to a character early and maybe they don't fit into your strategy at the end, well, too bad. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, Cecil's a real danger, especially if you only find one because agility stability really comes into play on tough flags because there's sometimes you need to be real cheeky. The
Mhm.
character in the Baron Inn, by the way, was Porum, so there is a mage, and Porum Palom together in the early game is real good, but you kind of want to see her in a free spot, maybe. Get that
Yeah.
twin magic online as your option to get through the early game, and have a white mage for the mid game stretches might be the option. So we'll see.
Yeah, hard to get that twin cast online that maybe push you through the Baron Inn when one half of the twins is behind the Baron Inn. Um, we saw Penguin8r, I believe, head over to briefly check the Mist Cave, looking for that elusive D-Mist. Found Baigen. You like to see that. You don't want to see Baigen at a basically any one of these objective spots, and let alone somewhere nasty like a required Odin or something.
I mean, we would have a Palom to deal with that. Quake is pretty good for killing Baigen off, but like, yeah, I can kind of see not wanting to run into Baigen in the Ribbon Room with the exceptional health that he will have there. Again, so we're seeing a lot of heavy looting here, and again, nothing super exciting yet. The Zeus Gauntlet's kind of exciting, especially because you can strap it to your Sid, and that's pretty good. The extra 10 strength is not going to go amiss here. Back of Watery Pass was pretty empty here, so both our runners found not anything, again, nothing terribly exciting. I mean, a Soma drop for a Tella and an Elixir is kind of nice, and we've got second Rydia.
Yep, second Rydia. That Zeus Gauntlet may actually end up being huge, but it's lucky that both runners got it, because if we don't find a Tella, without Sirens on, you can't steal them, you can't buy them unless you find them in a coal shop. Our runners might be looking at a Mac Giant grind, and that Zeus Gauntlet will go a long way to making that grind viable.
We'll see. But also, boss off the board will be Golbez. Both our runners checking the waterfall, and both our runners going to get the good news that the King of Laughter is off the table.
Yeah, you're looking for a D-Mist, but you can't be real sad that you found Baigen and Golbez in these spots. Like, okay, cool. That's gonna take a little bit of my my stress off if I have to go, peek a particularly nasty spot.
Yeah, neither runner, interestingly enough, having checked Mysidia yet. Especially considering some characters have been left behind at this point in time. Coffee and Chocobo is likely to try to take the wooden hammer that Sid starts with to whatever boss is down here, and get Palom some level 2 spells from the experience. So, gonna see if he can get that going. Penguin8r is gonna check. Penguin8r is gonna check Hobbs here. An interesting check.
Yeah. So another character check up here with a boss. Unlike the group flags, we are not playing with C relaxed. We are playing with C standard. Fu is still relegated to the bench, but so basically all that means is if you want to find an edge, you're not going to find those free early game edges anymore. They're going to be locked behind a key item, and I believe that was a cane up on Mount Hobbs. And Penguin8r said, "I don't even want him to chill in Mysidia. Like, he can stay here."
Well, Penguin8r also does not have the power to kill whatever boss is there, so single level 10 Palom trying to kill bosses is pretty embarrassing, honestly.
I mean, I've seen Penguin8r play before. I think he could do it.
I mean, Penguin8r also is part of the school of I gotta do things fast rather than I gotta do things now, so, leaving that behind makes a lot of sense. Gonna sell some weapons here, gonna grab some Ether ones, so if he does happen to find Tella, that's gonna secure his grind completely. 1,000 health here at this particular spot, but we're gonna blow through it with this wood hammer, even through these 100-point remedies.
Yeah, and continuing the trend of potentially nasty late game bosses in early game spots that kind of that's everything you could find in the Ribbon Room. That's probably the one you want to see the least. And so seeing it here in Antlion, you're like, all right, cool, that's great.
Yeah, lots of bad bosses off the table here. Penguin8r again, continuing the character check loop.
Vanilla.
There's the reward that we were looking for.
All right, so
that Penguin8r takes Tella instantly, just snaps him up.
Yeah, so Tella in this flag set serves much the purpose that Fu would in previous tournaments, minus the fact that he doesn't get the great offensive magic spells. Utility White Mage, utility Black Mage has weak once Ordeals is conquered, which enables your D-Machine grind. And because we know that Darkness Crystal is hard required in this particular seed, we know for sure that we will be seeing the opportunity for a D-Machine grind. I can't think of any reason that he would avoid it.
So we got a free engineer, and do you want another Black Mage?
I thought that was a Porum there.
Now that is a Porum. You want another? You'll have to go back to get Iridia then. But there's a free Porum, so there's Twin Magic online if you want a Porum. Yeah, it looks like penguin8r is just going to grab both right now to avoid having to go into the back, it looks like, and just say, all right, cool, Sid's good, Twin Magic's good, Tella's a great character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, you've got a pretty solid party. You may just want something like a Yang that you can slingshot off of that D-Machine grind. Or if you want to go for Reflex Strats, maybe even slingshot just one of those Ridias instead. So I think penguin8r is pretty excited with the party that he's put together so far.
Yeah, very flexible sort of play plan here. CoffeeAndChocobos, loading up as well here. So, decides to grab Twin Magic. Doesn't need the second Sid because he grabbed the first one, so that's fine. Has yet to find the Tella, but I'm sure that he's keeping a nice warm spot in the party open for the old man when he climbs the mountain.
Yeah, no reason not to until you are basically forced to take a fifth character that isn't Tella. penguin8r is going to be diving down here in the Antlion Cave. Will kill his Kanatsu probably quicker than CNC did, and will be rewarded with his Rat Tail. So far, we have the starting pan and a Rat Tail. Both of those items would benefit greatly from finding something like a hook, but we still have our underground access.
Yeah, it's real interesting at this point in time. We got life potions on both sides as well. From Mysidia, it looks like penguin8r is stocked up a little bit more on Starveils. Our runner is doing a lot of the early prep work here at about sort of the same stretch of time. penguin8r should probably douse the water spirit down here right around the same time that CoffeeAndChocobos adds one Tella to the party.
Yep. Now I'll be interested to see if CNC wants to try and take out ordeals while you're here. The back tech spot in particular can be pretty nasty, but if you've got Twin Magic and you've got a Sid to maybe tank a few hits, might be worth it just to go and get your Tella online, and that seems to be what his plan is.
Yeah, I see no world where we don't make the climb here. Yeah, and he's gonna make sure that looks right. With Sid, with Twin Magic, it's a lot of tools for dealing damage. Got some healing as well. Tella does have Cure 2 right now, which is not exactly terrible.
Yeah. And a Dark Elf. That's pretty simple here in the front spot, to be quite honest.
Most bosses are. This spot's not statted very well, but yeah, no weapons yet at all. But this is going to be a mage-heavy party, so, you're looking for, like, an Earth Hammer, and you're probably very happy.
Yeah. penguin8r leaving Antlion Cave with his Rat Tail had the benefit of having the Tella to exit out. Seems like he's going to be following CNC, so we're going to have both of our runners here on ordeals trying to get this Tella online before checking Fabul. I definitely agree with that. When you have a pan in hand, if you can minimize your trips to Fabul, go for it, and then worst case scenario, you're forced to just go there last before you go underground.
Yeah, this is just real interesting. Again, I mean, getting Tella to other thing Tella gets is like virus and level 3 elemental spells. So you might use Tella just to be your I'm gonna cast a bunch of viruses at the overworld and blow through a lot of the boss spots that I haven't touched yet.
Yeah, and those level 3 spells, even with his low wisdom, can still hit weaknesses pretty hard. So if you're into something like a Mylon Zed and you can queue up the Fire 3, like that'll take care of it in most overworld spots. Stuff like Lit 3 on Leviathan. Tella can dish out some damage. CNC showing off that the second form of Dark Elf does not have the boss spit, so is able to be stopped, is able to be weak. A myriad of status effects it is vulnerable to.
Yeah, kind of have to go and work through the second phase now with the hammer, though. It'll be a little bit slow, but it's fine. One last swing, and we're done here. Looks like we're going to get a Thunder Rod on Tella here for use later. Other thing is penguin8r had a Dancing Dagger and has been using it, but is going to pass it up right now and bluff to maybe get a little bit more magic power, so that these twin spells hit real hard.
Did Dark Elf just miss his weak?
This spot has, like, no stats.
Even in this spot, I don't think I'd ever see that happen, but yeah. This spot is it's so sad.
This spot is really, really weak. Because the stats of this spot are based on, like, regular Mylon, and regular Mylon stats are pretty garbage.
underground, well, the intended underground access will not be here on Ordeals. That was a Valvalis at the back attack spot, and CNC instantly reset out of that.
Oh man, you want to get your Tele online? That's real exciting.
So yeah, that's ignoring that can't block the only route to underground access. That also blocks our grind. So you got to find a way to get some other levels, and I guess that leaves Fabul, Baronin, and Demist as our potential underground access, barring any sort of chains or what have you. Oh yeah, the Kane on Hobbs becomes alluring here.
Yeah, because Kane gets you through this fight. Only way that we're gonna really pierce the defense unless we happen to get our hands on a lot of extra strength gear for Sid and like an Ogre Axe, we're not getting through this Valvalis.
Yeah, so kept that spot open, is going to fill it with this Kane. This is a play that is one of necessity that I have to agree with, even if it's might end up being suboptimal later. You maybe wanted to fill that with, Iridia, to have a more pure mage party, but you can't do anything without Tela online.
Yeah, and you just gonna try to heal the party and ether Palom to do some damage here, but Sid can't get through this. You need 6 attack multipliers to get through this, so you need enough levels or strength to get through it. It's looking real unlikely.
Yeah, Penguin8r is probably just wanting to hang on to that last party slot, and if he can make it through, then maybe advantage Penguin8r, just depending on how the gear falls, but could potentially be spending a lot of time here, assuming that he doesn't end up having to reset.
Yeah, just can't get through 2 bluffs and 2 bluffs and still doesn't matter because the 255 magic evade with the spin on. Can't touch it, so Valvalis is sitting there going, "Hi Tella, how are you? I know our runners are very excited to see you today."
Well, that Drain Sword kind of makes things a bit interesting because typically you're going to want to use Tella as your anchor. This is not a very fast party. But you could, if you need Tella to have some speed, you could always stick that Drain Sword on that Kane.
So, Penguin8r not looking towards grabbing that Kane just yet. Instead is going to audible off and head over to Football. So, going to kind of change tack a little bit. Probably a hair behind here, not badly so. I think we had a Flame Spear for Kane if we didn't sell it. So we do have at least a Kane weapon that is not the baseline spear here.
CNC checking the Chocobo Forest for potential for some loot. Also gonna, talk to the White Chocobo, get MP refilled. Maybe not faster than a tent, but if you're coming here for the loot anyway, might as well get those. Stop having to poison walk and get everybody healed up.
So Karate Man is here to train his troops as he is running the show at the Football Gauntlet spot. Sits in the back, not terribly useful here. Penguin8r continue bluff twinning here.
Yeah, I think Yang might have mistaken our parties for invaders. So that's what happens when you don't go through the story progression. The characters don't know who you are.
Look, just because you break continuity a little bit, it's not really that big of a deal.
Butterfly effect, Emerine. It has lasting repercussions that spread all throughout the blue planet.
Wrong game.
And just a Charm Rod. I say just a Charm Rod. That's a really good weapon for that Palom. And a Gungnir for that Kane that Penguin8r does not have.
Gungnir is the best weapon you're going to find for Kane in a box, basically, on these flags. So that's a really good pull. This might drag Penguin8r to go grab the Kane and then just use Kane to dumpster this Valvalis.
Yeah, I feel that Gungnir is a good enough weapon to justify having Kane in your final party. Definitely not as good as something like a Defense Sword or even a Dragoon or White Spear, but for, as you said, it's gonna be the best thing we're gonna find in a box in this early game. So let's go for it.
Yeah, it's super rare that you'll find something better, honestly, short of it being at a key item spot. Or if you're cracking encounter chests for experience and or gear, because encounter chests still have those nice chances to get you that sweet tier 7 gear. Penguin8r though, gonna make way to the Baron Inn instead and try and continue getting a little bit more information on this seed.
Yeah, at this point, this or a nasty demist at Magus Sisters, I guess, is what we're looking at. And continuing the trend of nasty bosses in not so nasty spots. Ogopogo.
Yeah, I mean, gonna have the party's health, so Penguin8r is gonna need to top off for the second fight because the second fight will melee your party to death pretty easily. So gonna be a little careful here.
Twin Magic doing work.
Charm Rod helping the cause, certainly. CoffeeAndChocobos, though, jumping and ice 2ing through this fight. Valvalis, though, gonna drop spin there, kind of at an inopportune time.
A little bit of French vanilla here with this boss.
Opposite order bosses, but gonna lock them out of counterspelling with the mute bell, so that at least action can go through without having to worry about other concerns. But again, this spot melee is hard enough that you can get yourself into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's very slow, but it's very punchy. Each of these guards is going to have about 2,000 health you need to chew through, and it's going to be taking out basically one shot the majority of the characters aside from Sid. So I'm going to have to kind of triage this, and BNC is through that Valvalis.
Yeah.
So well done there. Only the tomb or the mirror room, whatever you want to call it, away from getting this Telefolia online, which would go a long way towards this guard fight. If this ends up being the route that needs to be done.
Yeah, this is a tough spot, certainly. But that Valvalis execution was very well done. Again, kind of keeping Kane at low health, knowing that he's going to get up in the air. A little bit scary at points there, but again, just sort of holds it together long enough to get through. And we're going to find that our underground access is the magma key on the left screen from Penguin8r, and our item for CoffeeAndChocobos at the top of Ordeals, is the Twin Harp. So, music obtained.
Twin Harp and an Asura. So, excited to see that that Twin Harp, at least from the commentator/viewer point of view. Yeah, this Asura, again, this is like, Bari has rolled a seed here with a particularly nasty Valvalis, and then a bunch of nasty bosses in not so nasty spots. Bari, I need you to roll my seeds in the future, please.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting, sort of. Penguin8r does still eventually need to climb Ordeals, but may look underground for gear and options, and just kind of, ditch the play for now. Which, once you have... If it were a hook, obviously, then you probably go grab the cane and do Ordeals, because it's kind of a necessity, but... or check for niche, maybe, and then... But it's real hard to gamble on getting an edge on these flags, honestly, because he just doesn't exist anymore. He's not in any of the free spots.
Yeah, he doesn't exist in any of the free spots, and with T-Pro instead of T-Wildish, his best swords are not as easy to come across, and his utility for stealing Sirens has been disabled, so he's not quite the MVP that he was in the group flags.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is, if CoffeeAndChocobos does escape now, or does a Football Gauntlet now, which may skip, may go to Baron first because has the pan in hand, that Gungner sort of waiting there at this point in time, may not get it so quickly. Penguin8r grabs some kamikazes in case he needs to throw a character at a problem.
Yeah, also very good for that Twin Harp. Can just save a little bit of time there during the cutscene phase of the fight. Just kamikaze whoever isn't wearing an iron ring, and you're good to go. Penguin8r wasting no time, going straight to Dwarf Castle. Gonna peek who these bosses are, We see some form of Mylon. Not sure if it's Zed or and friends, but
Yeah, penguin8r didn't want to sit through the balance of the cutscene there. Just again, kind of gathering information here before doing the shop check. Just needs to kind of know how much prep do I need to do for any given spot.
I'm gonna do a bit of shopping down here. We are also playing with S Pro on, so the highest tier that we will see in the shops, I believe, is tier 4. Tier 5 and above are locked to Cocole's shop. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, Demi.
Nope, that's accurate. The big things that takes out of the pool that you may have gotten used to seeing in the group flags were things like, well, again, we already talked about sirens, but also Bacchus wines and hourglasses are both going to be off the table. We're not going to see those at all in shops unless they happen to fall in the Cocole shop.
Yeah. Also stuff like heroin robes, ninja swords, just various stuff that you feel is like high power when you're playing through, but you don't quite realize that, oh, this is powerful enough to be considered T5. Yeah, none of that's there. And Cocole shop, if the runners do forge, your Cocole shop only holds a small handful of items, and it pulls from all of the items that it could possibly hold. So you can't hold out hope that you're going to find what you want.
Unless, of course, what you're looking for is tier 6 armor, and then you probably will find it.
Very true. CoffeeAndChocobos is deciding, even with the pan in hand, Fabul might have the underground access. Let's go check it. Doesn't get the underground access, but does get the Gungnir spear. So has the cane and the Gungnir. Only thing left on his plate is Baron Inn, where he will find the magma key. And with a Tella with all of his spells, should have a bit of an easier time with the Baron guards. Not that penguin8r had much of a difficult time there anyway.
Also, more importantly, Earthhammer and Poison Axe both for sale here in Tamra. So, if you want to upgrade your Sid weaponry, you don't need to find it. You could just go ahead and splash some cash and make the magic happen.
Yeah, and penguin8r not doing the people any favors. Did not check the job dwarf.
Good job, penguin8r. Way to not meme. You're the best. Speaking of memes, though, CoffeeAndChocobos is going a little bit off the beaten path here, going directly to the Dark Elf spot here, going directly into Cave Magnus. Of course, since we saw Volvalis on the mountain, we know that this is not the underground access, so leaving Baron for now, but maybe gambling that this is Darkness Crystal, potentially?
Yeah, I kind of like this. You can gamble that this is Darkness. It could be Hook, which turns the rat tail into Darkness. Any myriad of situations where this could end up paying off, and equally, if not more, where it doesn't. But in any case, with penguin8r shunning the job dwarf, CoffeeAndChocobos is being the people's champion and is going to give us some music after looting some boxes. Oh, there's a save point there? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a save point there. Not a lot of people use it.
I always used one earlier in the dungeon. I didn't know that was there.
penguin8r pops some boxes and finds some ghosts here. This is probably going to kill his party unless his mute bell goes off first, which with some run buffering may happen, but that's going to sting a little bit.
Yeah, might have been looking to either, be a bit greedy. Oh, he had saved at the save point there, so I can see why he did this. Trying to greed out some value because leaving alone the trap chests themselves, because there are trap chests in this area, the quality of loot in every other chest is also slightly bumped to compensate. So you can get some pretty good value if you just greed up some chests.
Also, if for some reason you decide to take out all 7 chests in the Sylph Cave, that's like a total of 115,000 experience points when all is said and done.
Yeah. And like the centipedes are fairly easy. Oh, all right.
Never mind. We know that CoffeeAndChocobos is probably not about to get paid off here. penguin8r is in technical go mode at this point in time. Access to Dwarf Castle, access to the moon. Desperately needs to get up to killing off Volvalis now. But I guess we got music first because this is how we roll.
So we're going to be quiet. Enjoy.
fans letting us know that this is Gao's theme happening from Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, this is a great theme. I personally think that even though this theme is incredibly beautiful, it is like the most dissonant from the character who it belongs to. This does not scream Gao to me, but I also don't compose for video games, so what do I know?
I mean, if you do all of the side quest content and all the additional content in Final Fantasy VI, it makes a ton more sense. CoffeeAndChocobos, though, having a little bit of problem here, ends up casting Virus on Plague rather than using Virus to off one of his party members. And it's going to take a pretty deep wipe here. Like, you do have to sit through the entire Edward walk cutscene here. So this is going to sting the timer a little bit. Probably not too terribly happy about that. So CoffeeAndChocobos is going to get back through this cutscene, and the character on the moon penguin8r is going to see here is, if he sees Edge, this could be a coup at this point.
Oh, another Palom, which is, I would take this. You've got your Darkness Crystal. You just have to get through that Valvalis, which I think he has a much better shot at doing now. May still be undecided on that, though.
No, I mean, the Earth Hammer that you could buy could potentially do the deed for you, but like that's risky. That's risky town, really. We're not really into that.
Yeah. I'm not sure what else he would have been looking for here if to maybe take it instead of the cane. As you said, might have been going for the Edge, but yeah, it'll be a question that I'd be interested in asking penguin8r come interview time. But yeah, once he gets through that Valvalis and has his Tela online, he was going to have his grind open to him to take out whoever lies in the Dwarf Castle and whoever lies in the Ribbon Room, having already lit up that objective number 4 by virtue of raising the big whale.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone, like we know, Kane is what gets us through here, and penguin8r is going to touch down at Hobbs, knowing that Kane is awaiting him here. This, of course, is, you know, probably the best play that we can make right now. It's got to get through that Valvalis, and Kane is consistently going to do it for you.
Yeah, might have honestly been looking for one on the moon where you didn't have to sit through Lugae. The time there might play out also getting the cutscene out of the way that you're going to have to watch regardless when you go down to Zeromus.
Yeah, no, definitely a sensible, straightforward play here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna use the Blizzard Spear as an item on Dr. Lugae on the back here.
That's good game knowledge.
Casts a fairly weak instance of Ice 2, but it's going to get the job done, and of course, the hammer does quad damage to who gets destroyed, and then Sid will probably destroy Dr. Lugae in a moment as well.
Yeah, phase 2 also being a machine, taking the quad damage from Sid's hammers. CNC is on the rematch with Plague. Potentially, yeah, going better. It looks like reflected back a count onto Plague and just let his own timer run out.
Yeah, so basically instant kills Plague by reflecting. Good strategy, good timing on the Star Veil. Works out really well. We know this isn't the Darkness Crystal, but let's see what this is. This could be interesting if this is half a forge.
Ooh. It's a good robe, but it's not what he was looking for.
I mean, you have exit magic. You got a little bit of experience from this. I think you accept the fact that you've made progress in terms of experience points. Again, Sork Shirt, like you said, it is pretty much the best caster armor that you can get your hands on. So it's time lost, but the Sork Shirt will make your nukes from Palom in the final fight against Zeromus do a little bit more damage. So
yeah, best shirt for Palom by far. Black Shirt giving the same boost to Wisdom, but not nearly as many defensive stats. penguin8r is now, with the cane in hand, going to climb ordeals to get the litany of spells that Tela has waiting for him. Well, CNC going to peek here in Mist Cave, having yet to do so, and now knows that unless he wants to climb Zot and check Maga Sisters, he's got to go do Baron in.
Yeah, penguin8r is here engaging Valvalis now. First week is on Palom. Tela likely to heal that instantly, more likely than not. Or actually could just use... He's gonna berserk the Sid, get him out of the queue here, so that's always great.
Yeah, a little bit of extra damage, and also no longer have to worry about menuing him. Fairly strong strategy there.
Palom gets lit up though, gets weaked and then gets tagged, so is down for the count for the moment. But gonna get this twin cast off now. But Valvalis does start spinning at this point in time, so timing's still good though. Kane comes down first, everything is a-okay.
Until Palom gets smacked again.
Come on.
Good old board face AI knows exactly who needs to be hit and hits them.
Come on, Valvalis, please be nice. I mean, Sid's doing 600 a swing here. We should be a-okay here, honestly. The Baron guards though are did take down Sid and took down Forum for Coffee and Chocobos, but with upgraded Tella casting stone, let's go home. This fight's over.
Yep, lands the stone. Gonna get the magma key. Gonna get the lovely text box to say Porum joined, and then nothing else. Having a full party already.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Valvalis is down on penguin8r's side, so all that's left between him and his grind is an Asira, which should really pose no threat.
Yeah, this is going to be real interesting, kind of, because you figure that Coffee and Chocobos is going to head on down. Penguin8r skipped checking even Feymarch. Like, Penguin8r has taken this as tight as you can do it and got rewarded. Also, with the Soma drop for Tella, that's going to make the grind a lot easier for both of our runners. I believe both runners have a Soma drop for Tella. But
I believe so, yeah.
It was in Watery Pass, so both our runners should have it. So Coffee and Chocobo is going to throw the key down the well, behind by about the length of that harp check at this point in time, honestly. Penguin8r sees that harp and goes, yeah, there's no need for me to do this. I'm good.
Yep. I still like the gamble. We've gotten to the stage where the runners are of such a high level of skill that you've got such massive respect for your opponent. Sometimes you just have to go with an unconventional play and hope it pays off. Unfortunately, Harp did not, but it's still something that I fully see the reasoning behind, and would probably do myself in a race where I was up against Penguin8r, to be quite honest.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to make the magic happen. You've got to force it a little bit. But not even checking shops, not even bothering, just going to go straight and directly down to the Sylphs, who are going to hand over the Darkness Crystal with a giggle and a flash, and then, yeah, we're gonna see two runners dashing through their grind, and a lot of it's going to be how efficiently can you execute this D Machine grind.
Yeah.
How much shopping does Coffee and Chocobo still want to do before going up? Does Penguin8r, having already done the cutscene in the Lunar Palace, give him an advantage?
Yeah, I like this going straight to the pan. You're 1 KI away. After the harp check, you probably feel behind, and once you see this Darkness Crystal here, you're gonna probably be pretty nervous, knowing that this was just waiting here. What I would like to see out of Coffee and Chocobos is checking Sheila 1 and 2. The odds aren't good, but if both pieces of Forge are there, that would be faster than Ribbon Room.
I mean, also our runners both still need to do Dwarf Castle. Remember, we're not in go mode until Dwarf Castle's done. The big thing is that you probably go and you do your D Machine grind, you come back to Earth, you stop at Dwarf Castle before going up, right? Ribbon Room's last, you just use the save point right there and then. So, it could be interesting if we do our grind first, there's not going to be a boss there that's going to stop us, honestly. So yeah, so now Coffee and Chocobo is doing a little bit of shopping, kind of knowing that go mode is here. He's got to kind of get on his horse at this point in time. Also, what's Penguin8r doing? He's taking encounters outside Baron? That's weird.
I mean, Demi, you know we have E can't run on.
I mean, I guess he wanted a little bit of extra experience to help jumpstart his grind. I don't understand.
So for those in chat that are not familiar with how the D-Machine grind works in the Threemus zone, because we have the E can't run flag on, the traditional D-Machine setup is really dangerous because you have to try and nail it first try. And so, like any community full of, players that like to go fast would do, if you take something away from them, they find a better way. And so through the work of Twisted Flax and some others, an alternate setup for the grind was found using encounters outside of Baron to get you on the right, to find out what seed you're on and tell you exactly when you're going to get a D-Machine for your grind without having to just keep resetting and hoping you get it first try, like I did in the first time I did a D-Machine grind in these flags.
Yeah, again, enough of a community and people will try and find a way to break the game. So yeah, so we've got CoffeeAndChocobos outside of Baron setting up the grind as well, putting Tella in the middle for grind purposes. penguin8r flips encounters on real quick and finds the fight. It's like magic, 100% of the time, and here we go. The game plan for our runners at this point in time is first, you've got to take care of the two beamers. This, of course, is important for the fact that the Searcher won't start summoning until you've killed off all the other enemies, otherwise it will just counterattack with beam. So somewhere between Kane's Spear, the hammer from Sid, Tella maybe casting a virus or maybe a blink to give this team some safety. And yeah, and then we'll see our runners start casting weak on the D-Machines as they pop up after they hit the Searcher. They'll try and get their turn order in order to be able to do this efficiently. We'll see some life glitching to get extra kills, and our runners are probably going to kill about 20-ish, 16 to 20 D-Machines. As you can see now that the D-Machine is out on the field, all the D-Machine will do is does two things. Cast Fire, which does 20% of your maximum health as damage. So we're going to see some group healing here. And then we're going to see Tella casting Weak, followed up by... that's really poor timing. Like, you want to follow it up with a melee attack and then some life potions, but that timing on that attack from Sid was perfect, that it snuck right in. Yep, blinking Tella means that if this happens where you miss an attack, your Tella can't die from the melee counterattack, which is bad times for you if it happens. But yeah, penguin8r on the board here. We got a couple of D-Machines down. We've got CoffeeAndChocobos going to start conjuring up the D-Machines as well. While we D-Machine grind, so you'll be back in just a moment. But we're going to hatch up the party and kind of keep going.
Hi, I'm back.
Oh, right as I said that you'd be back in a moment. Perfect. Good timing.
Yeah.
Both our runners are simultaneously D-Machine grinding right now.
Excellent. So I didn't miss much.
I mean, what you missed is the fact that between all the decisions that our two runners have made, we're here now, and it's time.
Yeah. I also believe my internet decided to disappear in the middle of my explanation of the setup for the D-Machine grind. So if I got cut off midway through, I apologize.
I think everything's okay, but the big thing here is I think Penguin8r is about 2 D machines ahead right now. Um, not a lot of time. This is super, super close at this point.
Yeah, especially given the um, harp check that was not needed, as well as a wipe 2-set harp check. It's crazy how much grind has been made up by maybe just fading the shops in the underground.
Fading the shops, getting the first try D machine grind hit on the actual underground. Yeah, looking pretty good here, but Penguin8r's got a little bit of an edge in terms of grind time. Both our runners are going to need to grind to get both kids their nuke and white respectively here. It's likely that we see maybe hybrid strats where we see like reflect go up, but also berserking to kind of make up the difference. The big thing in that, and I'll foreshadow this a little bit, Penguin8r bought unicorns and Coffee and Chocobos did not. Is this going to be where Penguin8r's experience with this Romus fight comes to play? We shall see.
Yeah, that could make a huge difference considering how close this is. But depending on the levels of the kids, we're probably looking at I'd say 11 or 12 pairs of D machines, a pair being one that's killed and then a life glitch before they're ready to get nuke and white respectively. But I do want to take this opportunity while we are grinding, and I don't know, my apologies if you did this while I was gone, but I want to shout out the other people behind the scenes here. We got Nyobari on the restream, and we have Ike here doing the tracking, lighting up the buttons, and making sure that me and Demi know what's going on. So I want to say I appreciate y'all.
You assume a lot if you think I know what's going on.
Well, Ike can only do so much. The rest is up to you.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The big thing is that the big thing is that Coffee and Chocobos, and one thing that's slowing Coffee and Chocobos down right now is that Coffee and Chocobos did not end up grabbing ethers. Is reliant on casting Psych on his 2 casters to reload the mana pool a little bit here, which is a little slow. It's a spell that has a, I believe, cast to life 5. It's, not Meteor level, but it's still pretty slow to cast. So things are taking a hot minute for Coffee and Chocobos in terms of reloading the Tela, while Penguin8r has Ether 1s and Ether 2s and is happily full of potions to get through this.
Yeah, a little bit inefficient there. The ethers were, I can't quite remember, but I know that Penguin8r picked up a small stack of them even back when he just had the Pelham in his party, so he's been holding on to those for quite a while.
Yeah, Penguin8r probably got to go to that second stack of life potions. I know he bought a couple, so should be okay on that front. But yeah, starting to run a little low. There's 14 more in the inventory, so I'm not feeling super worried at this point in time. But yeah, gonna go ahead and equip a bow here. I think the intent is to. I'm not sure if the intent's not to get the kill yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, maybe whittle him down a bit more. I completely trust Penguin8r knowing exactly how much HP that Searcher has, and might be opting to do that instead of queuing up a final week from Tela when he's done, just so he can kill off Tela to serve as an anchor.
Yeah, I gotta keep that agility good. That's super, super, super important here.
It looks like Coffee Chocobos did not purchase any unicorns, but does have one in the inventory, so that could be interesting. If we see unicorn hybrid strats from both of these runners, I am going to be absolutely amazed.
Yeah, it'll be pretty fantastic, honestly. Also, while we're sitting here D-Machine grinding, we haven't determined which matches are being restreamed, but there are 6 potential matches tomorrow, so just keep an eye on the Discord. Join the Discord if you're not a part of it. We'd love to have you. But keep an eye out on the Discord, because tomorrow evening, there will be free enterprise. I promise you that. I don't know who's going to be racing, but there will be free enterprise for you.
Yeah, there will be free enterprise, and the table is full of 32 fantastic runners. Each runner has a slate of 6 matchups, and every last one of those matchups is a race you don't want to miss. So regardless of how many and which ones of the 6 get scheduled for tomorrow, you're in for a treat. That's the match I have my eyes on, Berserk.
I mean, why? And Ben's going to watch PK. It'll be fine.
No, it's fine. PK will fade Antline and everything will be okay.
I mean, predicting these matches is basically impossible. These runners are all fantastic, so...
Yeah. PK is my comms partner in crime, so I'm excited. And Inven is sus. I play Among Us with that guy. He's too sus. Can't trust him.
I mean, Inven is the defending Football Gauntlet champion, and PK was the runner who took Invenerable the closest to a loss in that tournament, other than the actual one race loss that he did take in a 2 out of 3 series. So,
yeah.
I don't know if I were to pick a match that I wanted to watch tomorrow. I mean, other than all 6 of them, of course. Probably the early match, Scratch Dragon versus X Pancraz, is gonna be a great one. Scratch aggressive, Pancraz aggressive. 2 runners are probably going to gamble a lot and really kind of show their stuff.
I'm just excited for more free enterprise, and even more excited that I no longer have to stress about playing. I can just watch and volunteer and enjoy the rest of this tournament without worrying about my next race anymore.
Why do you think I just chose to take this tournament off?
That was probably a smart play.
All right,
yep.
Pengu's done. Pengu's done. He's happy. He's telling us all he's got enough D machines in his back pocket.
And so is CNC.
All right. Well, here we are, everybody. Penguin8r is going to use a kamikaze to get the killing blow, just to make sure that Tella is very, very dead. Tella's dead on Coffee and Chocobo's sides. We're a virus away from ending this fight, it looks like. Here we go. 35 levels on the Palom on the left screen, and on the right screen here, we've got 29 levels, 771,000 experience points. Penguin8r did not come up short, that is for sure.
I like what CNC did here.
Decides to come up a little bit short, assuming that the Ribbon Altar is going to finish the job.
Yep. 771k plus 100k from Ribbon Room, unless you get shorted by something like Dolls, will be enough to get Nuke onto that Palom.
It's a gamble. It's risky. You want to have it just so you can go down and microwave the heck out of the altar. I think that Penguin8r probably made the better call here, just going in and just microwaving all the way down to, getting levels all the way to the microwave.
Given that CNC did that harp check and feels behind, I like this as a way to try and make up some time. Basically only from that point of view is how I like it. Otherwise, I would absolutely, Penguin8r made the right play. I think both runners made the right play for their respective scenarios.
Yes, while it's unlikely that you'll miss, Nuke does speed up the fights a little bit, so we shall see if that matters. But Penguin8r, of course, headed on down. Did not use the shipboard beds. Here is just going to go ahead and look at the mana pool and go, oh god, this sucks, and pop a tent.
Penguin8r, I know you know that there's a handy little pot just a few tiles to your left.
Penguin8r is probably
dead. Wants to keep the Tella dead.
Wants to keep the Tella dead. Also probably thinking that, honestly, Penguin8r is honestly thinking, I only need to cast 2 nukes in this fight. like probably thinking one nuke from Palom kills the first boss, unless or a Quake or a nuke will kill the first boss, and then a Quake or a nuke will kill the second boss. So just thinking that the mana will be a-okay. But yes, Coffee and Chocobos is in slightly ahead here. And if this is Mylan and Friends, CNC ends up looking real good for not getting nuke here, honestly.
Yeah, this is Mylon and Friends, and even if it's not, it is Mylon Z. Has Cure 4, Cure 3, opting not to use either one. Curious to see what his plan is to take it down this Canadian Scramillion.
Probably channel Fire 3 and then go AFK. Also has to kill Estella, so has to take a moment here.
Yeah. Has that Gungnir Spear. A jump would do a decent amount of damage, but a single Fire 3 will do it slower than the nuke because of the longer cast time, but will still hit for quad 9s. So
shove Mylan in the microwave. Penguin8r takes the lead by a hair here because of the delay from having to kill off Tella.
Oh, that's a blue robe.
Oh man. Penguin8r are going to be very happy to have Ethers if this is the gauntlet.
And it is.
There's Paladin Cecil. Fun times for everybody. Good news though, Paladin's in the first spot. Quake is on deck. Is going to need to hit an Ether at some point during this, though.
CNC's agility is not good for this turn order, though. Palom's going last.
Yeah, that's where the extra experience also comes into play. Is that the extra three levels here is 1 agility, and it seems to be making a bit of a difference here. Like having a big pile of extra levels here ends up paying off in terms of being able to get this done. Penguin8r switches to Virus, knowing that it will be lethal, and he has enough mana to cast enough viruses to kill all these fights. So is going to end up being okay. Coffee and Chocobos, like you said, a little bit of extra menuing here, even with the kid in the first spot, it's not working out so hot.
Yeah, and using the Quake, which has a longer delay than Virus, I believe, going to bleed some time here. Penguin8r already looks like about 2 encounters ahead.
Yep, Pengu on the last encounter here at this point.
I think the bigger benefit, as you said, is not necessarily having nuke. It was having that extra point of agility to give a optimal turn order.
Yeah, Pengu done. Doesn't have to worry about milling, doesn't have to worry about cast delays, doesn't have to worry about anything. That's it. Dwarf Castle is going to be down for Penguin8r first as he speeds through this. Man, this is really showing off how just small decisions end up having really big impacts at the end of the day. Again, with kind of gambling and shorting himself experienced Coffee and Chocobos, you see how it sort of spirals out a little bit here. Penguin8r not even worried about the item. Just he's got the check complete. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna cast Exit. To heck with this. Keep your whatever it is, King. I don't care.
I didn't know you could do that. I'm learning so much tonight.
It's no time save if it's passed because the last objective we're doing is on the moon anyway. We're going up to Ribbon Altar at this point in time, so there is no time to... It does not matter what that item is. It does not affect Penguin8r's strategy in any way. He just wants to get up on the moon.
Yep. I'm going to refresh my feed because I think I fell behind.
CNC wraps the party up here at the full gauntlet, about 90 seconds off the pace here. About a minute and a half behind now. Wow, this has been back and forth. The swings have been real. Penguin8r already has done this cutscene as well, so he's going to save himself. Well, he's going to gain the 20 seconds that he's already spent as well here. So,
yeah, at this point, with Nuke on the Palom, gaining so much time into that Dwarf Castle, basically identical parties. This is a matter of execution, and Penguin8r has a 2-minute lead. This is going to be a heck of a finish here tonight, and I hope everyone is buckled in. Otherwise, you're going to be on the edge of your seat.
But I paid for the whole seat, Zoe. I paid for the entire thing.
Yes, but for this race, you only need the edge.
Well, that's unfortunate. Because
I mean, but we didn't find any edges, but
yeah, Coffee and Chocobos got an Earth Crystal for his troubles for actually talking to the king there. But yeah, this is it at this point, right? I mean, you're in a jet seat execution check right now. Coffee and Chocobos stopping to check the shop here.
I mean, you looking for maybe Cure 3s would be what I would be thinking, just so you can go full on casting white with your Porum and finds them.
Yeah, they were there, so we knew that from Penguin8r. Penguin8r had already grabbed a couple.
I had missed that, so.
Yeah, so Penguin8r has like 3 Cure 3s on tap right now. Not a ton, but enough for just in case purposes here. But yeah, Ribbon Alter Touch at 5850 for Penguin8r on my screen.
And Octoman.
Stick the octopus in the microwave. It will get tough and rubbery, but it's fine.
Don't hit it with white, whatever you do.
Yes. Do not hit it with white, because Octoman, interestingly enough, absorbs white in Meteor. So don't do that.
The day that I learned that Meteor was a holy spell was the day that I watched someone use it to try and trigger a Big Bang nerf, and were sorely disappointed when he countered with weak.
Yep, nature of the thing and all that. But yeah, so Penguin8r is just jamming these, is zerking his fighters. Porum just drops dead. Probably not ideal here. You probably want the extra level or 2 on her from the 100,000 experience, but it's not the end of the world.
No, not at all. 42,000 HP to chew through, as you know, every couple hits is going to make Octobam slower. The fight's going to get easier. You'll have plenty of time to get that Porum back up. And
launch this Tela at Octomom to make sure he does not gain another level.
Want to keep that agility nice and low, because I don't believe either runner came across a cursed ring, so got to go with what we got.
Yeah, but again, if your other casters are ahead of the group, it'll be fine. So it'll be okay.
CNC making the dive will probably be, yeah, I was going to say probably another room or 2 ahead before this Octobam goes down. And that means that Penguin8r is about to have the crystal in hand, only has to descend a few more rooms, probably not even going to check these chests.
No, Penguin8r has been balling pretty hard about not checking anything at this point. So again, nothing in here would really change Penguin8r's strategy, honestly. Like, no, he's gonna check it. The life staff.
The life staff is actually a big pull there.
Exactly what you wanted to pull out of that box.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's massive. Plus 15 to your white magic casting stat. Did you want to see that? Yeah, you wanted to see that. That's what you wanted to see.
Yeah, that brings Porum's Cure 4s into much more viable range, as well as giving her a bit more survivability on the Big Bangs, because unlike Rosa, does not quite have the HP pool at this level to survive an unnerfed Big Bang in base gear. So.
Oh, to heck with survivability. It's another multiplier on white cast. Let's be real for a minute. That's DPS.
Yeah. That's
what we're all here for. Speaking of DPS, and speaking of damage, and speaking of bosses, the flags are out. What is going on?
Yeah, the flags are out. I'm going to forego the typical joke I make about people cheering for me because it's a Z flag, and don't tell me that me saying that counts as making the joke, because it doesn't.
It's okay. You're not. It's okay. You're not funny anyhow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, no, you actually are very entertaining. But yeah, I guess get to it.
Okay, yeah. So I have a question for you, chat. Whose butt are we kicking this evening?
Zoe's gonna kick my butt for saying that she's not funny.
That's one of 2 messages I'll have for you after this. Don't worry.
Fantastic. But yeah, Coffee Chocobos did touch the altar here about 2 minutes behind. Found the right bosses, honestly, for not getting the nuke on the kid. But like, just a little bit of cast delay here and everything. Coffee and Chocobos does finish at about an hour 2:30, so probably about 2 minutes off the pace right now.
Yeah, gonna have his crystal in hand. We'll make the dive. Check the boxes. Get the life staff. Come on.
CNC grabs the life staff as well here. It's going to start doing some setup for the final fight. It's penguin8r's race to win right now, though.
And we have Threemus. This is this Lelouch?
This is Lelouch from Code Geass, yes. It's Threemus. It's very funny because we were having this conversation in the Discord about how many Threemuses there actually are in the pool.
I love this. I love Code Geass. It is probably in my top 5 anime. Fantastic show. Scala, what is this sprite? Like, where did this sprite come from?
I don't know. More importantly, though, we do have the setup started here. The counter nuke came out onto Porum on bottom. Not ideal because, you want your Porum casting white here. You want your Porum attempting to help, obliterate this final boss. It looks like we've got some hybrid strats going. We do have Zerk up on Kane here.
Yeah. And for anybody watching this VOD later that cannot see chat, Scala says that she thinks it's from one of the Jump Superstar games. So there's your Z-Sprite trivia for this evening.
Yeah, CoffeeAndChocobos rolls up at about an hour 4:30. CoffeeAndChocobos having a great run at it right now. So big thing here, Porum's got to survive. That life staff comes into play a little bit here.
Oh my gosh.
Survives with like 60 health. So that ends up coming into play here a little bit. We've got some more nukes coming out here. We're gonna see if the unicorn comes out, or if we just decide to push through. Again, there is the unicorn. So gonna stop the Zerking from Kane here. Is gonna probably end up needing to heal up the Porum now. But this will stop Berserking at this point in time. Also, the Reflect means that we are A-okay in terms of the wall staying up on Sid here.
Yeah, that is fantastic game knowledge. For anybody that doesn't know, Unihorn removes a number of different status elements from your entire party. One of those, and the key one, being Berserk. So typically when we see something like Reflect strats, it's just pure Reflect strats, gonna reflect to take down the 61,000 hit points. But if you want to Zerk up a character to help chip away that first 45,000 before you trigger the counter, you can use a Unihorn to get rid of that Zerk.
We've got an elixir out on the Porum here. The major thing now is that we just need Porum to survive this, to sort of lock it out right now. Good roll, 1800, 1700.
Good roll, yeah.
So damage not quite high enough to ruin the day. Nuke comes out here on Sid. He's going to sit on Sid to queue up a Star Veil if necessary, because White is channeling right now. Not necessary.
But that's it.
Cap damage Nuke. See you later. What a race.
That was fantastic. GG's to penguin8r, finishing with a Discord race spot time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 7 seconds. The difference is that Harp.
Ultimately, with the back and forth and everything, the difference, CoffeeAndChocobos, a little bit of execution work could have helped the cause a little bit, but yeah, the difference ultimately ends up being that Harp check.
We'll see if we can get penguin8r in here. Hi, it's penguin8r.
Hello.
GG's.
Thank you.
So, I don't even know where to start. What were your thoughts on this seed finishing, an hour and 6 after you started?
So seeing the objectives, it's kind of suspicious, 1 underground objective, 2 darkness crystal objectives. Basically, you just need to find a magma key in a darkness, and the darkness is often shortly following the underground access. So it's kind of on my mind the whole time. Wanted to prioritize the ordeals, make sure I was ready for the grind as soon as that came out. And then it was Sid and Kane. I'm usually kind of a coin flip on which one I take. I didn't really want to do the Hobbs fight for the Kane, so I took the Sid. Then there's a Flame Spear, there's a Gungnir Spear, and oh, there's a Valvelus on Ordeals. Basically all saying, oh, you're supposed to take Kane.
Yeah. When you got your Darkness Crystal and you went up, you checked the Moon character. Were you looking for a Kane there to avoid having to do the Hobbs fight?
Yes, primarily looking for that Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go double Black Mage, pick up Iridia, and slingshot her, but I figured I needed to get past that Valve, and getting Kane was, I think, worthwhile in that endeavor.
Yeah, both of you ended up doing that ultimately. Coffee and Chocobos actually did it pretty much instantly, seeing the Volvalis up there, immediately reset the fight, and went and grabbed Kane to go do it, basically right then and there.
Yeah. The ultimate difference here is basically after doing Ordeals, Coffee and Chocobos followed the Twin Harp instead of going to Baron Inn. Took a wipe. There was a plague at the Dark Elf spot, and took a wipe to it. So I had to sit through the music cutscene twice, and that looks like it was about the difference. But it was incredibly close. Both of you finishing your grind at basically the exact same time. You pulled ahead at the Alt Gauntlet, having a better turn order, and then making up even more time, having already watched the Moon Boss cutscene. But this was a fantastic race, not only to commentate, but also to watch. It's always a pleasure to watch you race.
Well, thanks. I tuned in right as the New Year grind fight was finishing up, and it's definitely a very close race. I didn't feel like my early game was that great, so kind of makes sense Coffee snuck in an extra check in there.
Yeah, I think you took about an extra minute just trying to fight the Volvalis without Kane in the party, but that was probably the only real error that you had in the entire run, honestly.
Yeah, incredibly clean.
Did your shop checks, check Sylph as soon as you saw the Darkness Crystal, you're like, yeah, I'm done, I'm good, I'm out. I've seen enough of this.
Even exiting out of Dwarf Castle just to show that you didn't care what Luca had around her neck. I didn't know you could do that. I learn something every time I watch you. And ultimately, it was the Earth Crystals, so it didn't matter. But you didn't leave the Ribbon Room chest behind, and that Life Staff looks like it made a difference on your fight, because Forum got dangerously close to dying multiple times from Big Bang.
Yeah, kind of as I was finishing up Dwarf, I was like, oh, I could just skip this. And I was like, well, could be a white shirt, but figured it's a little bit of a cutscene there, so figured it was worth the swag to exit out there. But then 2 items, I figured, well, there's a chance I get something for Porum that would help out. Because I was a little bit worried just having one Black Mage, one White Mage, about being a little bit short on damage for Zeromus.
Yeah, you're also using the Unihorn ends up saving you a little bit of time in the Zeromus fight, so you ended up getting in pretty good damage overall. While, of course, Coffee and Chocobos did the whole health pool of Zeromus on true hybrid strats here.
I think I could have gotten away with no Unihorn, just no Berserk. My twins were doing a lot more damage than I expected. They were getting 9,000 rolls most of the time. I was expecting more like 7,000.
Yep. And we got a flash from CNC. So finishing up here, 1 hour and 11 minutes, 20 seconds, about 5 minutes behind. But the race was a lot closer than these final times would make you believe. So GG's in chat for CNC.
Yeah, GG to Coffee.
And we are joined by Coffee and Chocobos. GG's.
Thank you. GG's.
That was actually a really well-run race on your part, all things considered. I think it'll be real interesting if you watch this one back. The big thing is just how did you feel about that Kane on Mount Hobbs?
Well, having already had Sid, when I first saw him, I thought, well, probably not. And then as soon as I saw that Val on Ordeals, it was, nope, let's go get Kane.
Yeah, knowing that it can't block your underground access is definitely good knowledge, but knowing that it also does indeed block your Tele being online, it's a much bigger deal.
Yeah, I knew with that party I wanted to do D-Machines, and I figured the Darkness Crystal could be here, and then when I saw that Twin Harp, I thought it could be behind the Twin Harp, having not, gone to Baron Inn yet. And I did a quick check of Fabul, And I thought, after this, let's go do Baron Inn. We'll go check the pan if you know, the Magma Key's there, or we'll go do Twin Harp after that. But that chest in the King's Room in Fabul doomed me. I saw the Gungnir and I thought, whoa, that puts Twin Harp in play right now. And then obviously it was a little bit of an ill-fated play at Plague. I thought I could jump over the count at first, and then I also thought I had time to cycle around and kill somebody off in my party, and it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, it seems to have been that was ultimately the biggest difference in the times. But you made up quite a bit of time being in the D machine grinds simultaneously, finishing at the same time. You did finish a few levels shy of Nuke, which with the bosses that were left ultimately didn't prove to be that big of a deal. What's funny is the levels that you didn't have on the Palom. Nuke would have been nice, but so would have that extra agility point that may have cleaned up your turn order a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Having level Tella just one agility up to get him to 9, and then I had a little bit of a messy D machine grind. I wanted to do 11, and I think I stopped at 9 or 10 due to the fact that
9, yeah.
Yeah, I ran out of Cure 2s, and I almost I jumped turn orders a couple of times because of the way things were going. Sid and Kane got ahead of Tella. Unfortunately, they didn't knock him out, but it did cause a delay in the end.
Yeah. Regardless of the outcome, fantastic race. As I said to Penguin8r, I always enjoy watching him race. I always enjoy watching you race. Ever since I've joined the community, you've always been, in my opinion, like one of those racers that's like a step above me, and so a place that I aspire to be. And so watching you, I feel like it can definitely help me improve my game, just personally.
Wow, I do appreciate that, and I know Penguin8r is an amazing runner, and you know, as a former league champion, it's amazing to be within 5 minutes of him, let alone 50 sometimes. That being said, you know, GG's to Penguin8r. I could go all pro wrestling and be like, oh, I want the rematch right now. I would love to face off again and see how that goes, but you know, all good spirits. I love being a part of this community, and all the racers help each other. I've really enjoyed learning these table flags and sharing my strategies, because I know it just makes everybody better racers and makes for better content.
Yeah, there's a lot of table left. You are 0-1, but you still have 5 more races to do in these next 3 weeks. So that rematch isn't off the table if both of you make it to brackets. So if it ends up being that way, that's going to be a must-watch on my end.
Well, I'm hoping it works out that way.
Well, I know I've been hogging the mic from Demi for quite a bit, so I'm going to ask if Demi has any other questions or comments.
I mean, if you're interested in seeing how these two runners personally progress through their next matches, Penguin8r will be playing tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. against Prof. Corey. CoffeeAndChocobos' next match he has scheduled for 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the 1st of October, 2 days from now, is facing off against another old scion of the community, going to take on Scratch Dragon. So that should be another real fun matchup, honestly. I mean, give both these runners a follow. They're both fantastic. All 32 runners in this tournament at this point are real good runners, so we're going to see how this ends up shaking out over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, everyone that made it this far deserves to be here, has earned this spot, and any matchup here could just as easily be a coin flip to figure out who's going to win. It's going to be a wild ride all the way to brackets, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. And with that, I think indications show that we are going to be sending the lovely raid party on over to Poorly Drawn Bees, a newer community member who I know I personally enjoy watching. So I've been Zoe Vermillion. If you enjoyed this restream and you enjoy Free Enterprise, consider giving our channels a follow. We stream to our own channel, Free Enterprise, as well as the Random Media Network and RPG Limit Break. Big shout outs again behind the scenes to Nyobari and Aikir, And across the comms booth from me, Demarine2. Always lovely to work with you, Demi. I'm glad we were on comms together.
As always, a lot of fun. I guess I'm going to push the button now and get us on out of here, though.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone, and look forward to more Free Enterprise action tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.